If you want free drinks from white people, like country white people at the bar, just say fuck Joe Byron. And you don't have to feel bad about it, black people. He put us in jail for years, bro. He put us, fuck Joe Biden. Say it. Get you a free Dos Equis and a shot of tequila. Dressed, by the way. That's what I got. Say fuck Joe Byron. Say it with me. Let's practice. Fuck Joe Byron. And do this. Yeah. Free drinks.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah podcast.
Crux proper.
Crux, yeah. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, another week. We just jumped right into this shit when we dove in because that's how Jared Collins gets down. That's my guest this week and all that shit. So we just jumped right into the conversation. We went from there. It's a badass podcast, badass conversation. So you're in for a treat. You got to check it out. But yeah, just real quick, all the housekeeping shit out of the way. If you don't make it to the end or you get to the end of the episode, follow Jared Collins just on Facebook. He's got one video up there. He's about to have a bunch of videos up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some more material out. I'm not afraid of getting banned anymore. I'm just gonna say it.
He's about to put some more content out. It's badass content. You got to listen to this dude. He's about to take off with some fucking rants. We talk about all kinds of shit. But hey, man, if you listen on Spotify, thanks so much for all the listeners that have been supporting. Be sure to leave me a 5-star rating on Spotify. Be sure to leave me a 5-star rating on Apple Music, or not Apple Music, but Apple Podcasts, if that's where you listen. And all the YouTube stuff is up. All the videos are up. Check the video out. If you just listen, that's fine, but check the video as well as the audio out. And it's going to be a badass episode, so we're going to dive into it right now.
I really hope Janet Jackson doesn't feel bad about what happened, because what happened was perfect. The universe came together. Because understand, the song they were singing, the very end of it, Justin Timberlake says, "I'ma have you naked by the end of this song." Titty. Like, that's what happened at the Super Bowl halftime show.
Was he on this halftime show too that year? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson.
Oh, shit.
See, the titty was
I only remember Janet Jackson.
The titty was so great, you don't even remember Justin was there.
Yeah, exactly.
And Justin was the headliner. She was just there.
And then gay dudes probably only remember Justin.
No, I don't think they do. Like, that titty was...
I don't remember Justin.
That titty was so groundbreaking, bro. I don't think anybody remembered Justin was there. They just knew a white man ripped their titty out, and they were angry at him. And then they remembered, I think it was like 3 months ago, that Justin Timberlake is the one that pulled the titty out. So everybody got mad at him again, but like only for like 3 days. And then like somebody said something about Weinstein, and then they got distracted for like 3 hours, and then like some other shit happened. I don't know. Human beings are weird. We just like to be angry at shit. Some kid asked me today, he's like 22 in college. I think he's in like seminary school. He wants to be a pastor or whatever. And he was just like, "Oh, Jared, like you seem like a decent person." And I was like, "You dumbass." No, I'm not. I do coke and shit. I do weird shit, bro. Like, you don't want to talk to me. But for some reason, me and him started connecting about philosophers, Nietzsche and all this crazy shit. And he comes up to me today, because we talked about all this crazy shit, all these books we've read.
Yeah.
And then he comes up to me today, he's like, "Jared, what's the meaning of life?" And I looked dead in his eye, not even 2 seconds in, meaning. And he's like, "What do you?" I said, "Meaning. Everybody needs meaning. If you have no meaning,
yeah,
you fucking kill yourself." Like, that's why people throw themselves at jobs. They make their person, like a dude that works at Taco Bell for 30 years and makes it his personality, is because he figured out that that's his meaning. If he wants it to be that goofy as it is, that's his meaning. And he's happier than a motherfucker who's like playing football, making $10 million a year, who has to go out to a strip club every night just to get a nut off. Like it's weird how that works with human beings. People don't understand how numb you can get to sensation, and it's quick too. But they see it online, and like they see it on media, and they're just like, "Oh, I want that too." It's like, bro, yeah, it's cool once, but it's like you shouldn't aim for that.
Yeah,
like, that shit just happens if you focus on a goal. But if you're focused on that solely, what you're going to do is you're going to be stagnant, hoping and dreaming that somebody's just going to snatch you up and be like, "You just get titties." And like, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, if it was true that if I just, like, you know how people say, maybe it's because I'm black, but there's in our community that, like, people will say manifest, and there's some black women, like mostly black women, they'll be like, "I'm gonna manifest this shit." Well, that's the same thing as magic. Like, if these women existed 400 years ago in eastern United States, we burn them at the stake. Bitch, what do you mean manifest? Witch, get her out of here. Like, that's what we would do. But they say manifest. Everybody thinks shit is mad. It doesn't work like that. Nothing works like that. You have to find meaning, bro.
Yeah.
You have to find meaning, or you're not gonna survive. I don't give a fuck how much money you make. Find meaning. Even if your meaning is getting up and finding the perfect porn, and what you never gonna have sex in your life. What do they call them? The incels, which is a weird, weird term to me. But it's like, it's not involuntary. I mean, I
still don't really understand exactly what it is, because they call so many people. They're like, oh, magicians are probably incels, and this guy's an incel, and that guy's an incel. Are there female incels?
Dude, there's a lot of female incels, and that's what I was gonna say next. Like, female incels, like they call, those are the ones that.
Just to be clear and make sure I understand it, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I think I know what it is, but I want to make sure. That's involuntary celibacy, right?
Yeah, that's what.
So it's like, you don't want to be celibate, you want to have sex, but because of who you are, your personality, the way you look, or all of the above, you can't. Yeah. So you're celibate, but not by choice. Yeah, right.
It's pretty much women calling dudes ugly without.
But they're girls too, because isn't it ways? I mean, I feel like every girl can get laid if they want to get laid.
There are, but this is the thing, and like, damn, this is gonna get rough. This is gonna get rough. I understand. People are gonna get mad at me. Whatever. The only reason why women don't think that there's female incels is because, and this is not me encouraging this, is because there's a possibility of the R word. Because of that. You call a woman an incel, women like will scoff at that sort of, because they're like, well, no, your men are animals, because there's a, like, I get it, but that's why. It's because, oh well, there's that's a possibility for her still, which is true. We're not going to talk about prison male rape, but yeah, well, true. Yeah, like, if we really just,
it's real, bro. It happens.
Shit, bro. It's like, it's not like it happens anymore, but it still happens. But it was to a certain point where we were laughing about it in the media, about how much guys get raped, because mostly when people go to prison, we think of a child rapist or a murderer, and we're like, oh, you deserve to get raped for the rest of your life. But like, we're really, the majority of people that went to jail and were raped were nonviolent drug offenders, which is the sad part about that. And they were black men, and it was signed by Sleepy Joe. Whatever. Look, everybody knows it at this point. I don't know. And like, this is once again, this is not political. I'm a moral person. I'm too big to be political. I don't need a gang of people. I don't need a group to back me.
Right.
I'm quite fine by myself. I'm quite fine. I'm fat enough. I'm literally saying that nigga wrote that bill, and y'all voted him in, and you try to convince me that the fun nigga that was in before was not him. This is not a political opinion.
No,
I'm just saying, y'all said Obama was the first black president, but in my opinion, a lot of white people liked him. They were really comfortable with him. Trump, y'all freaked the fuck out. My argument is,
a lot of white people. I feel like it was pretty divided, because there's a lot of white people that are down.
Well, no. See, that was what the media was trying to show. I saw a lot of white people didn't get, like, they freaked out about Trump. The first night he won, I remember I was in Deep Ellum, and this group of white girls comes up to me, and I was with my friend Steven. I'm not gonna say his last name because he's probably gonna be mad at me for saying this other shit I'm about to say. But I was with my friend Steven, this group of white girls runs up to us, and they're like, oh my God, can you believe we voted in a racist president? And I was like, bitch, did you say that like it was the first time?
Yeah, right. That's a good point, dude.
You're batting 1 for 45 right now. Like, your batting average is not
all of them
good.
are racist presidents, dude.
God damn.
To a degree, in one form or another.
You're no Ian Kinsler. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're not really a anyway, it just made me laugh, because I really feel like Trump was the first, like if a black president, like my mindset with a Dave Chappelle joke would go, he would be Trump. It would be that. Like, even the shit he was doing, like, he's like, hey, like, he was doing favors for us just because it stroked his ego.
Yeah.
And like, look, even if he was like the most racist dude in the world, if I can use your ego for you to sign shit, because once again, Obama was in there for 8 years, and all he did was drone strike brown people in the Middle East and make gay marriage legal, which I'm happy for gay people. Cool, whatever.
Yeah.
You get to marry. Bro, can y'all please make sure you can take care of niggas, bro? We ain't got taken care of yet. At this point, it's too late. I always tell black people.
You think it's too late?
Oh, for reparations? Fuck yeah.
Or for anything at all.
What the fuck they gonna do that where you make it actually fair without people just coming in and scamming? This is how I know this shit ain't gonna work. Because the whole coronavirus thing happened.
Yeah.
We're gonna give out stimulus checks. How many people stole? Come on. And they were mostly black people. Like just being silly, like making up companies, start an LLC and get out of loans, and now you going to fucking jail for this shit. Just goofy shit. Not saying it wasn't white people, but it's like that's what's gonna happen. So it's not gonna be a thing. Even if it is a thing, it's gonna end up being like the pandemic, where people are just scamming their way through it, and it's not gonna really go to the people where it really is gonna help. It's gonna go to, just like Chappelle said, fucking silly ass Cadillacs and shit. That's the fact.
Or was it like 100 rap labels have been started overnight?
It's like that's what's gonna happen, and it's like
But that would be, I think that would be everything. Like that whole theory, like if right now, if everybody in the United States of America, doesn't matter who you are, everybody over 18 got $1 million like deposited into their bank account or handed to them cash or whatever. That whole thing about like people's habits, right? Like doesn't matter like, let's say like race or whatever background. It's more about like what kind of person you are. You know what I mean? Like how educated or uneducated you are, how much exposure you have to being financially independent. Like when you give that money within like a month or whatever, the people that were broke would be broke again. And then the people that have money already would have even more money because they know how to manage it. And the people that haven't been educated on how to manage it, they don't know how to manage it. So they're not going to manage it.
Oh, you're completely right. But also,
that's the comment. That's not my idea.
That's not even calculating the fucking inflation that would happen if we actually did that. Because, and I always tell, because I used to talk about this shit a couple of years ago, because, I'm not saying, people used to say like you're some libertarian or like, bro, I don't get involved in all that goofy shit. I think it's goofy that's why I talk from a standpoint of morals and what's right and what's wrong. I don't care about your groups because that's all. At the end of the day, it's PR. That's all it is to me. It's just like, oh, you're just trying to look good for the camera. I don't care about that shit. I care about what's right and wrong, and what we know for a fact is like you print more money like that, it creates inflation. And even with this last stimulus pack, people are so worried about like I saw this headline the other day about Adele claiming to be a woman when she took an award that they made non-gender, whatever the fuck that
they got
shit
pissed
means.
at her because she said she was like
and
proud
it's like
to be a
she
woman.
didn't even say anything that bad. It's like I thought, like, because literally 10 years ago, you motherfuckers would be clapping like fucking seals if she said that shit. Yep, you go, girl, you go. But because now you're on that goofy non-binary, whatever the fuck that shit means, and at the end of it, look, I respect those people. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I'm talking about the silly shit we're making headlines when people can't afford milk and fucking eggs, and you motherfuckers are really gonna sit up here and stomp your foot and clap for that? Shut the fuck up. Like, inflation was 7.4% last month. Y'all fucking kidding me?
Yeah, definitely. And I mean that whole thing.
Yeah, sorry, I get deep.
No, it's cool, man. I love it.
Deep. Like,
I love it.
Like, what was I talking about? Like World War III. Like, we can call it World War III because look, it's gonna happen no matter what. Now, it's not gonna be a ground war. Everybody think it's not gonna be somewhere like there's gonna be conscripts for the armies, bro. All drones, bro. This is gonna be Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, it's all remote. I mean,
like,
it has been that way for over
like,
10 years plus.
Yeah, don't be silly. Like,
I think like going to Iraq, going to Afghanistan, all that stuff. I think that that whole era and the places where there's like actually soldiers on the ground. I feel like that's now, and in the past definitely it's more. Like the last like 10, 15 years, and then dwindling down now going forward. That's gonna be the last time that like people are actually in the ground in large numbers. It's all computerized. It's all drones. It's gonna be all about what your technology budget is and all that shit.
Afghanistan, like especially Afghanistan, Iraq to a lesser extent, but Afghanistan was like our new age Iwo Jima. It was a new age. Like, how many American lives were lost in Iwo Jima just going over there and like going into traps, having a fight, guys that literally have been there for months digging tunnels for miles, and like a lot of American soldiers died for, by the way, no reason. There was no reason for those troops to die. That was the same thing I felt about Afghanistan with those troops in those mountains. It's like, what are you in there for? These people live here. You are not going to beat them. I don't give a shit if they had sticks. You weren't going to beat them.
Yeah.
You weren't going to beat them. And what the fuck was the goal? Like, there was like, even to this day, nobody really from the military or from the legislative, any branch could tell you what the fucking goal was. There was no fucking goal.
Yeah.
And then we sit up here and we just swept it under the rug.
Well, I think the whole thing there is that you're keeping, like, everybody that's in the defense world was making a shitload of money every day off of that. You know what I mean? So now they're like, oh, we got to keep making, like they turned the money spigot off in that area because they were making a lot of it and then they left. So now I think they're trying to figure out like, well, how are they going to do that again?
Ukraine.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, let's take a stab at that. But then didn't everything kind of calm down last week with that? Didn't everything kind of back down? Yeah, because it was escalating. Then last week they said,
I'm not an expert.
You know what I mean?
I'm not an expert. I would never be invited.
Dude,
on
neither am
VMR.
I.
But I'm going to tell you this from just what I'm reading and from what I know from history. I read.
That's just what I heard last week on the news. Yeah, tell me.
I can tell you this right now. Ukraine has a lot of natural resources that makes them very rich. The thing with Ukraine is it's not like it's just a country that wants to be all for America and we don't want nothing to do with the Eastern Bloc. No, this country is divided by philosophy. The Western obviously is going to be more towards Europe and America, and then you got the Eastern that wants to be with Russia, and like Russia recognized them as a sovereign. I heard earlier today, certain regions at least. That's just talk.
Well, their whole thing is Russia doesn't want them to be in NATO because then they consider that like a threat. Because that was what the beef was about, at least on paper.
Yeah,
right?
so that's just horseshit, smokescreen bullshit. Really, at the end of the day, we all know kind of there's American interest in Ukraine that gets certain people paid. We're not going to say names, Sleepy Joe. We're not going to say names, but there's certain people who have interest in it. It's just weird because it's like, dude, you had ties to this shit before you got elected, and like nobody's going to talk. Well, whatever. Look, the point of the matter is, all this proxy war bullshit don't really affect us as Americans. It does not affect us.
Right.
That's not going to change gas prices. It's not going to change,
right,
especially Ukraine. That's not going to change shit in our situation. So anybody seriously talking about it without saying shit like earlier today when I was saying trans Duke Ferdinand, like that I seriously feel like the world wouldn't start, like World War III isn't gonna start until a trans Duke named Ferdinand gets shot in a carriage somewhere in France or wherever the fuck he got shot in World War. I don't care. That's the only way it'll start now. And other than that, it's just gonna be drones. Nobody gives a shit about. Like, this is not gonna really be a thing. It's not. It really isn't. Even if they invade tomorrow, who gives a shit? They're not going to send no nukes over there. It's mutual destruction. Right. It's like the risk of mutual destruction.
That's how I wonder, though, man. That's how I seriously wonder on the nuke thing, though, is not to cut you off.
No, you're not.
But, dude, the nuke thing fucking blows me away because it's like there are so many crazy motherfuckers that have them. Legitimately. There are leaders and dictators that are legitimately nuts that have them. I don't know, because they have that ability and they're so delusional. I don't worry about any noises, fucking table sounds, anything. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? They're so out of control. I can't believe that they're not popping those off all the time. So that leads me to believe one of two things. Either it's like, well, they're not as quote unquote crazy as we are, you know, as it's shown to us to believe, right? As the media filters it out to us, right? With our like smoke screen in this country, as far as like the media coverage of these leaders, or that it's really not that tense, or that everything is not really on the brink. I don't understand how, if these guys really are as reckless as they are, they really want, they don't care. They're like, dude, if we can't advance as a country, if my nation can't advance as a nation, if my people can't advance as a people, well then fuck it. Let's just blow everything up. I don't see how that doesn't happen all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's because our dictators in modern times are pussies. They're pussies, cowards. They don't really have the dick to do that type of shit.
So you mean like North Korea and fucking Iran and all this shit?
That fat fuck is probably dead. It's probably one of his body doubles.
Right.
Seriously. Like these people, like look, we used to have good dictators. They had silly fucking names. Like, look, everybody knows Hitler. Like, boo, Hitler. Yeah, it's a weird name. Whatever. Pol Pot. That's a fucking weird name.
Yeah.
That dude was evil. You talk about Hitler, it's 11 million. Pol Pot, 30 million fucking minimum. Yeah, dude. That was a good dictator. Stalin, 100 million. He was like, nobody's gonna beat this record. Yeah,
he's the guy that's like kill one person, that's murder or whatever the fuck. Kill a million people, it's a statistic. That's I fucked it up, but that's kind of basically
no. I know what you mean. It's
that's basically the gist of what it is.
We always, you know, what makes me kind of like, it kind of makes my like eye twitch mostly. People modern, like people nowadays will be like, it's so the world is so violent, even though scientists and researchers will tell you no, or media just opens you up to more stories that you would never see. Literally even 10 years ago, you'd never hear about this shit, because a lot of shit you see is mostly on Twitter, Facebook, and fucking Instagram, and it's screenshots of shits other people in their regions where they live.
Yeah,
so
for
people
sure.
think the world is super violent. No, you just hear about every single incident now.
Yeah, there's a 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah,
The internet
every
exists.
single incident you hear about now.
Yeah.
So people are really under the fucking delusion that it's more violent right now in 2022 than it was in the 90s.
Right.
Which me, every time somebody says that, I laugh in their face. So I mean, like, I'm a big dude. I laugh violently in front of them. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's just
Like,
different.
I can't even justify talking to you. I can't, because like if like a 5-year-old came up to me and said, you want to know what I think about trucks? I would say, fuck no. And I would walk away from that 5-year-old. Same thing I hear when somebody comes up to me and say, you know how violent people are? You know how
violent people are.
You know how fucking isolated you are from actual violence.
Dude, have you ever heard of Genghis Khan?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying not to, that's what you say to them.
Yeah,
not you.
Yeah.
I'm saying, dude, have you ever heard of Genghis Khan, bro?
Yeah, that motherfucker is like related to like, I think it was like 2% of China,
It's-
which by the
I
way,
think it's
is
one
ridiculous, bro.
One in a couple hundred people or
Yeah,
something
it's like
have
2%
his
of the whole population
are distantly
millions,
related. Yeah,
millions.
because they raped and pillaged so many people.
Jesus,
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Like, this dude was just like, he would go to towns and like, I heard like sometimes dude was just give up. Like, they would give up peacefully. And he would go up to the beautiful women and he would just, like, imagine a beautiful woman be like, all right, drop that nut off. Like, because that's what they had to do
Yeah.
to get him to go the fuck away.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a mix, right? Some kind of saw the writing on the wall and did what they had to do. Some were probably just like forced against their will. Some were probably fucking crazy and were just down from it from the start, you know? But, you know what's really crazy is like what we like the whole pandemic and the whole thing. It's super mild and, you know, nowhere near that level of like craziness and chaos. But it did show you that like the world can become like The Walking Dead pretty fucking fast. If the right combination of shit happens in the right order. Because dude, I feel like, have you ever read the graphic novels of Walking Dead or like watched the show or anything?
I watched the show, man.
Dude, it's fucking so realistic. Like, especially the graphic novels even more so, right? It's so realistic of how shit can go down. You know what I mean? And how brutal and primal shit becomes, how quickly it happens when everything shuts down and society collapses. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy, dude. And that's and my point is, like, Genghis Khan, that whole era and societies like them, you know, conquerors like them and shit, when there was less of a developed society, when there was less technology, when there were less established countries, right? When things weren't on the internet and it took fucking 2 months, 3 months to get anywhere on the ocean, it was more like that. And that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like unbelievable to think. And it shows you that we're not far removed. It's not impossible for that shit to happen again. You know what I mean?
We're fucking animals, man.
Yeah, big
Like,
time.
The things people see on like the internet, like social media, like, you know, I don't mean to sound like an old person, but the things you see on social media, that's just who we are.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see one dude fuck up and how everybody piles on and like, you know, go, and it might be something innocuous. It's just some stupid shit. He accidentally said he when he should have said she, or whatever it might be. And you see these people piling on. People don't understand. It's just that's who we are.
Dude,
we're animals.
Well, then also, here's the difference though. Okay, so if we go back to like a fucking, it's like a Walking Dead, like, you know, post-apocalyptic fucking society where everything's shut down, right? Like, let's say the internet goes away, like the infrastructure completely shuts down and everything's like, you know, completely disconnected, right? I think the phenomenon with social media and people piling on and stuff is everybody's comfortable, right? Because they're just doing it on their phone, they're doing it on their computer. You know, a bunch of people talk shit in YouTube comments or like, you know, Twitter comments or whatever. They're protected because the internet, like, you know what they say, like the internet is like a safe place for cowards or whatever. So like, I feel like it brings about psychologically, it brings about like a different mentality, because it's like people that wouldn't say shit in person normally all of a sudden have a bunch of shit to say when they don't have to face anybody face to face, right? So it's like, if you go post-apocalyptic, then everybody's face to face, right? So then those people that are going to be piling on like that might not know. It would be different people that would. Is that, you know what I'm saying? Like certain people that wouldn't do shit in person.
There's always spectators. Most people are spectators.
Most people are spectators.
They're NPCs, just like those memes you saw. And this is not like, once again, I know it's a political meme, but when I say that, it's literally because a lot of you just are that. You're too afraid to go outside the norm of your social group or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're too afraid to go outside of that. They think that everything is supposed to be this fucking Disney movie where at the end of the movie they always get the girl, or like, that's why I always tell people, like, I don't understand why we got to this whole point of like not bullying went from like, hey, don't assault your fucking classmates, you fucking psycho, to like, hey, I know Billy is not your type, but if you tell him no, you're a bitch. That is like, because I hear stories about bullying. They'll be like, oh, well, he didn't have any friends or no. And I'm like, all right, well, was he going up to girls and just being like, can you be my girlfriend or something? Because if that's the case, you need to send him to fucking therapy. Or was she going up to people and just like not taking showers or standing in their personal space being fucking weird and shit?
Yeah.
Like, it's not bullying if people saying like, respect my, because I see it gets mixed up. It's like, I get what y'all are saying. I get bullying, but I'm saying like, dude, let's differentiate the shit. You're talking about the physical assault shit. And now, if you're talking about somebody calling somebody ugly, guess what, guys? Get the fuck over it. I'm sorry. I've been black too long. You better shut the fuck up and get the fuck over it. That's the whitest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here. If I have to ignore some drunk white dude saying nigga at the top of his lungs at the bar, like, by the way, I have to ignore it because if I went over to him and slapped him, I know some people would be like, well, if you slap me, I'll fight you back. Bro, I would beat the shit out of you if you called me a nigga. Like, if
Has that happened to you recently?
Not recently, but it's happened, and I've had to hit somebody, and I've been warned by the cops if I do it again, I'll go to jail.
Right.
Because I hit one dude so hard, like he did not like he went to sleep, but you know he was significantly damaged, and I'm like, I felt bad a little bit. Not right, I'm lying. I didn't feel bad. I told the
Probably
cops
not,
that shit.
I mean, yeah.
But the thing is, like, you can't hit somebody for saying something. So it's like that's why I tell people, like, don't tell me about no fucking, like, somebody called you fat, okay, and you better treat this shit like improv class, bitch. You better you better go into the Second City or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, yes, and what the fuck does that mean? Like,
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's about people kind of sit around and kind of wait for, as a group, like you're talking about spectators. People kind of sit around and wait to be told by the majority of people what they should think or what they should think is cool or what they should follow. You know what I mean? Because you have like, have you ever heard of like, you know how like the fucking, I've read a book, it's called Crossing the Chasm. It's like about early adopter, like the stage of when something takes over and becomes the norm, whether it's a product or like a style or a phenomenon or whatever the hell it is, a group or whatever the fuck it is, a computer. So you have different stages, you know, because obviously everything starts from nothing, right? Everything starts with one follower, right? Everything starts with like one customer, right? And then depending on how successful it is and how good the product is, it multiplies and multiplies, right? So in those stages, you got your early adopters. So those are the people that will give things a chance, which they're the vast minority of people. Most people aren't looking for something new that's undiscovered, right? Most people don't care, right? Or they don't have time or whatever. So you got these early adopters that, like, when something comes about, they're the ones that'll be like your first customers because they're open to trying new things out and trying new products and, you know, giving things a chance. If you get enough of them convinced, they're going to tell people, and then there's going to be late adopters, you know, and then you go through these different stages. I forget, there's like 4 or 5, I think. I'm leaving it out.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like, then before you know it, then it becomes the norm. So then you got early majority is the later stages. That's when you're starting to blow up. And then late majority, that's when you're like a household name, when you're like an Apple computer or a Starbucks or whatever. So my point is, you don't get that huge level of acceptance and nothing becomes the norm until you get that first half to kind of glom on. And then once you get to the majority level, early and late, that's all the people that are, oh, this is cool, I'm going to follow this now, like I'm going to buy this.
I think that's what bothers me about human beings the most, though.
Yeah
That you can't be an individual.
Right
That it's so, because I get how hard it is, because it's very terrifying to just be like, all right, I'm going to do my own thing and really stand on that shit. And I'm not talking about what I'm talking about is, like, if you're in a room of your peers and there's 10 of you, you're one, so you're 10% of that room, and they say that Hitler should have put all those fucking Jews in ghettos. I'm gonna go extreme with it because people are stupid. It's the only thing they fucking understand. Whenever I use examples, people are always like, "We're gonna go so extreme because you're dumb."
So do I.
I have to tell you this because you're dumb. You gotta understand. If a room full of your friends, your close friends and family, like truly, in reality, said Hitler did the right thing, a lot of you would fucking change your opinion about Hitler. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. Like, that's just a natural human thing to feel safe. You want to be with the herd.
Yeah.
It makes you feel better. The only reason why I use that example is because it's the most extreme and everybody understands what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why aren't you brave enough to be like, nah, fuck that. That's not right. That's not true. It's because you want to be a part of the fucking herd. That's why people do that shit. That's why people, it takes them to see the majority. Like, they'll in their head be like, man, that's probably right. But I'm not going to say that shit because, my coworkers, I don't want nobody to kick me out the front.
I think it would depend on what setting, right? Yeah, I think it would depend on if it's a party or if it's at work. Obviously, I think people would just fucking be like, oh, yeah, I can't. But like if the people knew each other or didn't know each other. But I think you're right, dude. Like a lot of people, let's say you don't believe that, right? But let's say all of a sudden, without warning, without knowing it, you're in a room with 6 other dudes that are saying that. How many people are going to, like you said, how many people are going to be brave enough to be like, no, that's bullshit. You guys are all wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, like that, my point. Yeah, like they're nobody would do that. Now, I've heard people tell me like, well, you're only like that because you're so big. Like, the fuck out of here with that shit. Guns exist. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, guns exist.
Gun is the great equalizer. So even if you're like, I get what people are saying. Like, oh yeah, you could just, dude. If I did that, we're grown now. This is not high school.
Yeah,
this is not. We're not going through no metal detectors. We're grown, bro.
Yeah,
I'm a grown man. Everybody else is a grown man. I forgot who I was talking to, but I was telling him like grown men know how to talk to each other. Like working doors. I can tell you this right now. Women are way more violent than men. This is not a sexist view. It's just something I've seen.
Do you think that's because they feel like they're not going to get hit?
No. What I'm saying.
What do you mean?
I'm mostly talking about to each other.
Okay. So they'll go off on each other. That shit
is a different conversation.
They'll go off on each other.
Yeah, they'll go off on each other. Hey, super violent. Like if 2 dudes get into it. There's this moment at the beginning where it's just like, you sure? You sure? Are you sure? Or there might be a chance for somebody to say something reasonable like, hey, that wasn't the dude that stepped on your shoe. There's a way to get out of that most of the time with most dudes. Unless, the dude who's, just the pussy. He just has to prove something. For the most part, though, most dudes, especially big guys, don't do that shit. Like little dudes
true.
I've seen do that shit off top.
I think it's like a big dog, little dog thing.
Pretty much. It's weird as shit. And it's weird to me that people don't think we're animals after that. It's like, bro, I've seen that shit.
Yeah. No,
I see dudes that are like, and like you'll hear the dudes talking beforehand and they're like, oh, now you might be cool, but like they sound like they got little penises or something like that because they're always trying to prove something. And they're always barking at somebody or talking under their breath, being passive.
What I think also it might be too, what I think it is too in my experiences is, because I'm not a small guy myself, but I'll tell you, dude, your life experience though really molds you because I'll be around some people sometimes, mostly guys, there are girls that do this too, but like, if we're talking about on the note of like guys, I feel like if you haven't been in fights before, you haven't been like hit, you haven't seen people get knocked out, you haven't been knocked out, you haven't been at risk of getting knocked out before. I feel like those guys that haven't been exposed to that world or haven't been in that situation are like, they talk like, because I'll be like listening to somebody and they'll be just talking like big shit at somebody, or they'll be talking shit, or they'll be like talking all loud or acting like they're badass or something. And I'm just sitting there. I don't do that in situations, dude. I always like I'm always very if I'm in a place I'm not familiar with, you know what I mean, or I'm surrounded by people where I don't know everybody, I'm very cautious, you know what I mean? And it's just been life experiences that have probably caused me to act that way, you know what I mean? Because like I've been hit, I've been in fights, I hate it. It's fucking horrible. And you never know how crazy somebody's gonna be, you know what I mean? So like you should always be cautious. But then you see guys that are like, fuck this, and they're acting, and it's like, dude, what's wrong with this guy? And you think, oh, he's either drunk or oh, he's never been like knocked out before. He's never been in a situation where someone actually tested him and put him in his place. And you can point it out pretty quickly, you know what I mean? And it's crazy to think that. It's like, oh, I see. You just haven't been reality checked before.
It's mostly movement. If they move a lot, you ain't never been in a fight. Dudes that move with purpose. Like, I hadn't been in fighting like over a decade because I move with such purpose. Like, I'm not gonna do too much talking. If I already decided,
okay.
Like, if you're my friend, I'm gonna give you a chance. If you ever hear me yelling, it's because I'm giving that person a chance, and I'm telling them at this point, the next thing you do is gonna get your ass beat.
Right.
That's mostly just to associates and friends that I like.
Yeah.
That I would rather not put in the hospital. But people who've seen me, like when I live downtown, if I get pissed off, ain't no talking. Ain't no talking.
Right.
It's just like I'm gonna stand in front of you. You're gonna swing at me. I had a dude hit me in my fucking face one time. I didn't move because I was so pissed off. Now, don't get me wrong. The next day I was a little sore, but I remember I can get mad if I really want to get to you. I'm gonna get to you. Dudes nowadays, I realize it. Now, once again, I don't get into too many fights because of the gun thing. But most dudes nowadays,
it's a real concern.
Most dudes nowadays are such pussies, man, that they think the whole fighting, the concept of the fight is them talking shit in the build up.
Right, the barking.
And they think the barking is the fight. They think that is like, oh well, yeah, you see how he's getting mad. I won. It's like, no, motherfucker, I'm about to kick your ass.
Yeah.
But they feel like they've won or something because passive aggressiveness has changed competency. See, you used to be able to be. You used to have to like actually prove some shit. You couldn't run your fucking mouth. You couldn't be passive aggressive about shit. You can't be passive aggressive about building a fucking car in the fucking 60s or the 50s or the 40s. You couldn't be passive aggressive even about racism back then. Like if you really hated niggas and you didn't show it to other white people, they hated your dumb ass. Like you better show this shit. Don't be passive. Show and prove. It seems I'm making a joke with that shit. But it seems like as time moved on, everybody started replacing competency. Like somebody knows how to do something with just a motherfucker with a fucking piece of paper with a 4-year degree saying like passive aggressive, like self-affirming bullshit.
Yeah, true.
And it's self-affirming bullshit. And it's like, I hate bringing this shit up, but I have to, and this is multiple people I had this conversation with. And I'm so tired of having this conversation. The whole thing of like, because UFC has become so popular that a dude that trains in mixed martial arts for whatever amount of years, 30, 40 years, or just 20 years, he's at peak physical condition. He's trained from 6 years old all the way to 26. If he's like 140, he could beat up a dude that's like 6'5", 250.
Yeah, totally.
And that's not fucking true.
You don't think so?
Not necessarily.
I think it depends. It depends on the situation.
No, because this is the thing. And even with the situation, it's like, what do you mean? You hit him in the balls or a weak point? That's not really a fight. I'm talking about a straight up fight that isn't true. If it was a fat dude out of shape, like this is, when I say it's not true, it's like, even if you're trained, if you don't get to my weak spot and I can just grab you and throw you somewhere, it doesn't matter. Because this is the thing.
At a certain point, yeah, for sure.
At a certain point. Now, not every dude that's that size. Like he might be out of shape, might not have flexibility. Yeah. I'm just saying in general, it's not like gonna be like, oh yeah, he trained. So, dude, no, I've seen dudes do that shit. I've had dudes do it to me. I'm telling you, if I can lift you up with relative ease, I have the leverage.
Yeah.
Strength has nothing to do with how much I can bench press. It's all about leverage and angles. So if you come up to me, dude, if I can lift you up, you're 150 and I can lift up 150 pretty easily. If I can just toss you, all that technique shit goes out the window.
There definitely is a point where the size of someone does come into play and there's nothing you can do. Like I forget, there was a guy in the UFC that was a football. He was like one of the first NFL players to go over to mixed martial arts to the UFC. He was like 6'10".
Oh no, you're talking about Greg Hardy.
Greg
Hardy.
He was one of those guys.
Like 6'5", but
there was a dude. Well, there was a different guy that was like really, really fucking. Maybe he would. Either way, he looked like a cartoon dude. Like the way he was built, and like dudes, even though they were like super accomplished fighters, dangerous fucking people that were like super accomplished with kickboxing, super accomplished with jiu-jitsu, super accomplished with Muay Thai, all that shit, top-notch fighters that could beat the average person's ass, like no question. Just because he was so fucking big, they couldn't do anything with him. You know what I mean? And he was nowhere near as practiced of a fighter.
That's definitely Greg Hardy, because I've seen
maybe so. I forgot the name. I'm totally blanking.
That's my point though, and I'm not talking like, look. I am not saying that some scrawny, tall, like I'm saying that a dude that's just solid, that's just strong, there's something about that you don't understand. And the reason why I have to like address it is because, guys, I've seen you get your asses almost killed talking that shit in your head and then approaching a person like that. You're going to get killed. Shut up. Like, shut up. That's not seriously true.
Yeah.
Especially if we're talking about this. Not even UFC, just martial arts in general. Bro, you're going to get your ass kicked trying some Muay Thai shit with a dude that's 6'5", a dude that's drunk, like, you know, not paying attention, and you do some little roundhouse kick, that don't count. I'm talking about straight up fight. You're gonna get killed.
Yeah,
you're gonna get killed.
Well, there's a setting. It depends on the style too.
But see, even then, like that, that's too many variables that you need to go in your favor for that to be a thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I could be blackout drunk. I don't give a fuck. If there's a 5'5" dude, 130, he's trained his whole life in MMA. He's a world-class champion. I'm gonna throw you through a fucking brick wall, dude. I don't have to fight you. I don't have to swing at you. I just wait for you to make contact with me. I'll grab your arm. I will break you. There's nothing you couldn't. Even if you tried to hit me in my balls, it would piss me off.
Wasn't there somebody that was trying to like jiu-jitsu fight you or something?
Yeah, people do that shit to me all the time. And I told the dude, I was like, bro, you're not the first dude. I used to get grown men trying to fight me when I was a child, bro.
Yeah.
Because I was bigger than most people.
Right.
I had grown men trying to fight me, bro. I have rage issues, bro. You don't understand. I've dealt with dudes like you. You gonna get hurt. Last dude they did that shit to me. We were doing it was a friendly fight too, and he was a big dude. And we did this little UFC shit in college. And I remember tapping him a couple times. I mean, like, people realize how strong and fast I am after. Like, I don't mess with people because it's like I have nothing to prove with that shit. But the thing is like, I've been threatened so many times. Like, I don't play with people no more, bro. I'll throw you somewhere. This isn't a game to me. Violence is not a game. It's not a competition to me. Violence is survival, because that's what I had to use sometimes.
Right.
Not that I grew up in the trenches, but I had to fight people for stupid fucking reasons.
Right.
And sometimes these people would pull out guns. Maybe not necessarily on me all the time. It only happened to me once, and he wasn't even aiming at me. I'm not acting like I'm some gangster, but at the same time, if you see that shit and you think that that's what every fight is, you just like, all right, I realize this is silly. I'm not proving anything. Even the dudes that won the fight, they didn't go home and get no pussy, bro. That's what guys got to realize. You're not getting no pussy out the fight.
It's not a movie. It's not a movie.
Never fought somebody, and then some girl was just like, I saw you won that fight. I'm going to give you some pussy. Yeah. That's not happening.
Yeah, no.
You're being violent. You're more than likely an embarrassment. No girl wants to fuck with that shit. Plus, you can't control your fucking anger and use your words to get out of a situation. No girl wants to fuck with that shit, because that means you're going to slap her ass. Like, that's what that means.
Yeah. But it's all about being exposed to real situations, dude. So when I hear guys do that, when like talk like a bunch of shit or act like, I'm like, God, this guy's crazy. I'm thinking, oh, no. They've just never actually been like tested before. They've never been called out.
They never fought. They've never fought in their lives. So it's like, even with the shit that I was like, when people were like messaging me and doing stupid shit like that, it was just because somebody mentioned my fucking name, and I'm like, bro, I didn't say it. Why are you messaging me? Why are you mentioning me? I didn't say anything to you. I didn't go up to y'all's face. You just know me because I've yelled at somebody in front of you, and then motherfucker got scared. What the fuck does that even mean? I didn't say anything to y'all.
Yeah.
I have my boundaries. I ask people not to cross them. If you do, that's how I act. So you don't. Why are you talking to me about what you think you could do to me, what technique you got? I don't give a fuck.
Who cares? Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm not out here trying to prove that I can beat up people.
That's weird.
Like, all I know is if you come at me, I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't give a fuck what your technique is. I fought a couple dudes, and like, I'm not like look, I'm not one of them dudes that's 6'5". That's
oh yeah. By the way, dude, if you see me looking at my phone, it's just because I have to run all this shit myself. You know what I'm saying?
I got.
So I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Well, it's like, I'm not one of them dudes that 6'5" and like dude. I'm about 270. I'm pretty strong. I've had dudes kick me in the head, do goofy ass little karate shit to me. I will throw your motherfucking ass somewhere.
So they think,
because you piss me off. They're like, you can't hit me hard enough.
They're like, this is my chance.
Yeah, you can't hit me hard enough, bro.
Here's the big guy. I'm gonna show up and practice.
I've had a motherfucker try hit me with a 10-pound weight in the head. Now don't get me wrong. I had a concussion. I was pissed off.
Oh, I'm sure you did, dude.
This
10-pound weight to the
hit
head
me with a 10-pound weight, and he didn't get me all the way because I probably could have died at a certain angle. But the thing is, you got to understand, he did this shit, and as soon as he realized that I wasn't knocked out, that I was just pissed off, he sprints the fuck off. Because like, bro, I'm gonna hurt one of you. The only reason why I tell him that shit is because we got to stop with this tough talk internet shit. I don't give a fuck about you going to no fucking MMA gym to work out, bro. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. None of you. The reason why you went there is because your pussy ass wouldn't go in the streets and do that. See, I do that shit at the bars when a nigga get on my fucking nerves. And I used to risk my life because I didn't know if he had a gun. Now, back when I was doing this shit, motherfuckers weren't walking around with little purses. I'm sorry, tote bags, whatever the fuck you want to call them. We weren't walking around with purses that obviously are just there for you carrying a 38. We weren't doing that shit. I wasn't over there yapping my mouth like a chihuahua or some fucking pursed off Paris Hilton's carrying around over there with a gun in my fucking pocket, knowing damn well I don't want the smoke. That's my only point in doing that shit, is that most of you dudes doing that shit have a weapon of some sort. Or you have some joker card that you want to pull out.
That's true.
So it's not about necessarily me saying that I'm not a bully. I'm not going to beat you up because you're smaller than me. I'm saying don't sit up here and get that confidence in your heart over this little MMA and this little mixed martial. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. That's not reality. That is you over there practicing and doing something that, once again, what we talked about before, fulfillment. You found fulfillment in mixed martial arts, in physical activity.
Right.
Keep it there. You ain't fucking Spider-Man, my nigga. You not Batman. You not finna do shit to nobody, bro. You still a pussy. You still that same little pussy. It wouldn't talk to the popular girl in school where you was hiding behind the fucking lockers, pretending you weren't listening to her conversation when you were. Dude, I was you too, bro.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I guess that's like the common thing where, and I think probably the guy who tries to use that stuff in like a public setting, like outside of like the gym, you know what I mean? I feel like those are the less experienced dudes too. You know what I mean? Because the ones who super like are actually like really masters of it, they try to avoid fights.
Yeah, and I'm terrified of them motherfuckers.
Try to be in one. You know what I mean?
I'm terrified of them.
But dude, on the note of fucking people being dumb and not knowing when things are scams, this is the kind of stuff like I'll see stuff pop up on social media. In this case, it was TikTok, and I'll wonder how dudes are still falling for like different versions. You see it on Instagram, you see it on TikTok, but like this right here, like, let me turn it up.
Still on the video of my pussy. Link in my bio.
Wait, she made this herself?
The first one who writes to me on the site. I'm still on the video of my pussy. Link in my bio.
Dude, so it's obviously like botted. You know what I'm saying? It's obviously a bot. You know what I mean? But like that's not real. Like that's the TikTok version of like go in here and then like, oh, I'm gonna put this chick up. She's kind of attractive and just like say a bunch of stuff. So people are like, oh, what is that? I'm gonna look at it. And then you go to the profile and then what they do, because I don't know if you know this, but TikTok is super strict about like any kind of adult like pornography or OnlyFans promotion or anything that's related to porn in any way. So what they do, they know that. So then they want you to go to Instagram, because Instagram you can get away with promoting OnlyFans. You can get away with like trying to do all these fake accounts. So you do that. Then you go there. It's like, hey, go to my Instagram when you go to her TikTok profile. So then you go over to Instagram, and then it's like random images or random things that are hijacked. And then you go and it's like, hey, message me and I'll send you this stuff. And it's just like, dude, I just don't understand how people. I know that it works, but I find it so hard to believe that guys fall for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was instant. That was probably someone who doesn't even speak English that throws a bunch of words together and they're just like, let's put pussy in there. You know what I mean? And it'll work.
Honestly, there's a lot of lonely guys in the world.
I get that, but there's a lot of different channels you can actually that are real, like you can go through. You know?
I mean, the thing is, sex sells. I mean, I get why girls are doing what they're not girls, women are doing what they're doing right now. Right. With the OnlyFans thing. I'm actually not a hater on that. I only get annoyed.
I'm not either, because that's not what that is. Yeah, that's literally like a botted thing to get you to go to this other side.
But I mean, guys are gonna do that shit because they're fucking guys. And if you're not getting pussy in real life, you live in Idaho, you don't see something like that. That's not an Idaho vagina. That's like New York, LA vagina. So if you don't see that regularly, you will do whatever to get a chance to do it. So you will click on a bot. You will randomly message some girl on Instagram and she asks you for $250 with no intention of ever meeting you, and you give it to her. Like some of these dudes, I get it. Bro. They'll be in relationships with some fucking cow, and I get it. I don't judge. I'm not sitting up there saying that they're look. The point is, most people live in this fantasy world because we're very materialistic as human beings, and social media makes it worse because you're constantly seeing it and you kind of want to emulate that shit. You have to be strong mentally. You have to have mental fortitude to just look at something and realize that, like, yeah, as good as it glamorous as it looks, it's really not for me. It's really not something that I aspire to, because it's not something that's fulfilling at all whatsoever.
Right.
Like, it's like why I tease models like that. I've met models, been in the same room and like been at parties, like not high end parties, but I've been in the room and like some girls are like, oh yeah, I just started this little Willamette or whatever, just big, like I'm about to go and be a big model. And I literally just ask them straight up in their face. And I'm not the rich dude. I'm not the best looking dude. I'm just the fucking ogre looking dude. I'm just huge. So everybody's scared. Like
I'm just gonna check this camera.
Yeah. I know why people react the way to what I say. And I told her, I was like, what the fuck is y'all talent as a model? What's your talent? Oh, well, and like they couldn't really answer it. There's no talent to that shit. Don't call yourself a talent. Just admit you're pretty. And if somebody wanted to pay you because you're pretty. I swear to God, if somebody paid me because I look good, I would tell everybody, like, if they came up to me, what do you do for a living? Oh, some dude gives me $900,000, or somebody gives me $900,000 a year just to stand there and look good. That's the life I live.
Right,
What's the shame in that?
So I don't think there's shame in that at all, and I don't think there's shame in the entrepreneurship of, hey, if you're going to make a decision, you're going to do provocative stuff on the internet with OnlyFans and stuff like that to supplement income and make some money, etc. That's fine. So be it. I'm not mad at you, and hey, if you're doing well with it, more power to you, especially if you're happy doing it, right? But my thing, and you do have a good point. There are certain guys that are going to fall for it. I just can't believe that there are people that will fall for it that easily. You know what I'm saying? With like the bots and stuff, like, not because there are tons of real chicks you can just go and subscribe to the OnlyFans, but this is like, who's gonna fall for this obviously computer generated, computer talk to speech shit? It blows me away. I mean,
if they're only going to their like they can only go to their local library for Wi-Fi, I could see how they could fall for that shit. It's not even about falling for it. It's like when you're horny, you've been on a porn search. When you're horny, you just click on every goddamn link. It's just like everything looks great because your body's tingling. I can imagine why they're like that. It's like, I get it. I mean, I honestly feel like all this shit's gonna end soon. The whole OnlyFans things, the over hypersexualized shit. I think people are gonna get numb to the shit to a certain point, and it's not gonna be as profitable as it used to be. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, sex sells," but I think it's gonna move on to a virtual. It's gonna be like you're gonna have to be more hands-on.
I'll tell you what I think is going to replace everything, and I don't know if OnlyFans is going to be the specific site that rides the wave or not, but it might be completely replaced by something else like you're talking about. But I think once VR gets to the point where everybody can afford it, just like now, smartphone, it wasn't overnight. It took a while for everybody to be able to afford a smartphone and afford the bill for a smartphone and stuff and have access on the smartphone. Now it's normal, at least in developed countries. You know what I mean? Everybody's got a smartphone of some kind, and VR is not there yet because you have to have some money to have an Oculus. I'm saying the average person can't necessarily just go and buy an Oculus. It's a little bit expensive. So you can't have like everybody in your family all have an Oculus all the time. The average family can't afford that, right? When they make it like smartphone level, however it takes 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever,
It's gonna take a while.
That's going to change the game entirely.
Yes, of course. It's gonna. I really can see virtual internet chat rooms. I could see all that happening, and I can also see where like they've already got the technology and they've already got products already exist where they simulate sex. Like you literally are doing a VR. It's porn,
and what they come out with,
real life porn. Yep. It's like real,
100%,
and it's literally stroking your dick to the stroke.
The way it is now, though, just like with everything, is 10 years from now, 15 years from now. The way it is now is going to be a fucking joke. It's just like you look at a fucking flip phone, you know what I mean, from the year 2000, and you're like, that shit's so stupid. We got this now. It's going to be like that, but with VR and holograms, you're probably going to be able to do it all from eye contact. Yeah. Like our kids, when they're like 16, 17, 20, years old, they're going to be like, beep, I'm in Jamaica right now. And it's like real. I can feel the sun. I can feel everything. You know what I mean? I have a strong feeling it's going to be that advanced and it's going to be that immersive, I
mean, we're waiting for that next advancement as far as that discovery. Like we're looking for that next one. I mean, you throughout like the last 100 years, just think about the last 100 years. Think about 1922. I don't think people realize like how fucking terrifying that is, the difference between 1922. Like the difference between 1822 and 1922, if we really look at it, really, like it was a lot, but not that bad. Like
shit went
there
down.
Wasn't fucking shiny shit in people's pockets.
Right.
Nobody was going to the moon. But in that was like so foreign to them. Some people that were alive at that time thought that the fucking Earth was like the only planet in the solar system. That's how backwards that was back then. You were talking about 200 years ago. 1922, and then 1922 to fucking 2022. You know how fucking scary that is? The
big time.
difference.
Well, everything back then, everything was, I think it was like, what, 60-70% of the country made their living from something agricultural.
Yeah, it was all
farming, or at least adjacent to farming. You know what I mean? Like trying to tell people, imagine being in like 1930 and being like, I'm actually an influencer. Like, what the fuck?
Like, imagine telling somebody in 1922, like, hey, you know, like those black crickets that would show up like every fall? Yeah, they don't exist anymore. You pesticided those motherfuckers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw like a gaggle of those motherfuckers?
Everything, dude. Yeah.
Like, those motherfuckers are gone, bro. I remember I grew up in Dallas. Out here, it used to be every fall, the crickets would all be fucking, and they would be everywhere. They would be on the sides of buildings, and birds would just be eating them, but they would be everywhere. You would go into like some Albertson somewhere in East Dallas, you'd walk up and there's just crickets jumping everywhere on your basket because there were so many of them.
By the way, what's this Dallas lemonade? What is that?
This is Dallas Blonde.
Dallas Blonde.
Yeah, it's just the ale, yeah.
Is this so it's like a local ale?
Yeah, it's just local.
Do you drink that all the time?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Oh, shit. I've never seen it before.
I love this shit. It's great.
That's cool. Man, my fucking cameras keep turning off, dude.
Yeah.
Go on. I'm fucking.
But what else? Yeah, there used to be bugs. People did like the difference in 100 years is crazy to me. Kind of amazes me. What else has been concerning me? We talked about the martial arts kids, the karate kids who think they can beat up everybody, which is weird. It's just like this passive aggressive. Like the fact that men are just this passive aggressive in this fucking time. It's so fucking annoying to me. It's so fucking annoying. Nobody stands on shit. They're just all hiding behind technique and like, what I believe. It's like, go fuck yourself. Shut up. Christ, man.
Yeah, dude. It is, all that shit is fucking interesting, dude.
Yeah, I guess like, and I guess people were like, why did you get so annoyed? It's like, I got annoyed because you were threatening me. And it's just like, bro, I got slapped the fuck out of one of you. I'm not playing with you. I will hit one of you.
Yeah.
I'm violent. I will pick you up and put you on the wall in front of everybody and see what you do. I've had people slap me in my fucking face, try to shoot me, stab me over just stupid shit. People don't like me, and I tell people this shit all the time. People don't like me because you can't control me. You don't have no dude that you can send to beat me up. All y'all can do is try to shoot or stab
People don't like me.
You just don't like me because of that. You can't control me. You can't control a motherfucker my size who doesn't give a fuck about your opinion. And when I say that, I mean I truly don't care. Like, there's certain people that you talk to like that aren't good people. And they'll be like, I don't like you. And it's just like, in the back of your mind, you're like, well, this motherfucker's a piece of shit. Why the fuck? You don't care.
Yeah.
So it's like, everybody that always tells me they hate me, it's like, you only hate me because I give you character correction. Like, I'll tell people the truth. Whereas, like, most people would be like, I'm just going to ignore that person. I've had friends tell me this shit. Like I want to say the shit you say, but only you can say that shit, because there's certain people that like they won't say because they don't want to go through the trouble. Well, there's no trouble for me because if I could terrify you within a couple seconds, there's no conversation we gonna have. I'm just telling you, hey, you're a piece of shit because blah blah blah, and there's not gonna be no back and forth like, oh, what you not because I'll hit you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
There's none of that shit with me because I'm gonna be completely honest with people because I'm honest about what the fuck I'm doing. Like, there's just like this passive aggressive bullshit where everybody's going through right now, I think truly comes from that social media craze of just people just hiding behind the fucking screens and just having these dumb fucking opinions. Even with the whole Trump thing, it was so stupid how many people were making up shit about him that they were like, and I would tell them like, bro, everything you're saying is what Joe Biden did. Shut up. I'm not even saying fuck Joe Biden. I'm saying, can y'all just shut up for a second? The reason why this country sucks so much is because nobody listens to anybody, and you're all you only listen and respond instead of comprehend. I wish people would just back down from this shit. Hey, why don't you just go help your fucking neighbor out? Clearly voting for these fucking rich people ain't helping. All they do is just help their friends out to get out of trouble.
That's the way it's been forever.
And then they retire to Martha's Vineyard. Why the fuck are we continually doing this shit? Why are we doing this?
I think they figured out a long time ago that they were just like, like the top 1%, the elites, whatever, everybody who, like, whether you call yourself a Democrat or Republican, they all belong to the same country club, and, they're all in the same secret organizations and stuff. I think they figured out a long time ago, like, hey, we just need to like keep these people upset with bullshit issues, like, you know, like fucking gay marriage and this and that. And these thoughts that I'm saying aren't new. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just keep them distracted with all this stuff. The average person, you make it, hype it up and put it on the media and everything. And then everybody's going to be fighting and distracted from this. And we're just going to keep controlling everything and collecting all the money and, you know, controlling all the banks and siphoning off everything. And, you know, we're going to keep staying, you know, super ultra wealthy. And
there's certainly truth to that, but I think that what's going on right now is something that's out of their control.
Out of whose control?
Whoever you want to call the elite.
Okay, yeah,
like
got you.
People in control. You're not really controlling the reaction of people. Not like to the point of like where they're like they can literally post a story. It's like, nah, it doesn't work like that. It's mostly just what people react to. I think they're just throwing shit out in the air.
You're right.
This is like
trying different shit.
Yeah, the scariest thing to me is like I feel like this is just in our nature to always look for an enemy. I've always said we need to fucking just free all the fucking tigers, lions, and bears in every zoo in America. We need that fear again. You motherfuckers forgot where the fuck you came from. Over here talking about they misgendered me. Release that fucking tiger so they can hunt every fucking night. What's your agenda now, motherfucker? Yeah. Oh yeah, you hiding now. Yeah, there's that big ass fucking tiger out here. Shut up! Like, we have to talk about important things, and I'll even go further than that. We don't even need to be talking about every little micro racist aggression that white people have.
I think who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Inflation 7.4% I can't afford fucking milk right now. If it wasn't for my girl's titties, my daughter would starve. Fuck, man.
It's true though, man. I think what it is it's like, you know, we're like the rich kid country where there's like there's nothing like things are good generally speaking. I know there's suffering and people are struggling and stuff, you know what I mean, but still, to a degree, compared to a lot of other parts of the world, things are so good here that it's like the rich kids that are complaining because there's nothing else to complain about, so they start talking about like this and that, you know, like tiny little things. And this isn't the first time it's happened. Like that goes like it's documented, you know, if you go back to like, you know, the Romans, etc., all these other civilizations that, you know, dominated the world in their time, they start getting obsessed with shit that's weird, that doesn't matter, and start like turning in on themselves and all this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, it's interesting.
I mean, we are living in the Sodom and Gomorrah era of America right now. I mean, I'm not trying to be biblical with the shit. I mean, I know it's a biblical statement, but it's just like it feels like we're wasting so much energy on the dumbest shit possible. And when I say this is a cultural thing. This is not a race thing.
Yeah.
I blame white people.
Yeah. I got you.
Like Iowa. That's what I blame. Like if you eat cinnamon rolls with chili and you think that that's a good meal, I blame you. This is your fault. This is your fault. Two-step Tom. This is your fault. I just gotta be honest. It's like, to me, white culture is just not having like the history of your culture. Because like, remember, white people. The only reason why the term white even exists is because they wanted to differentiate themselves from the new settlers in the 19th century. Pretty much. That's a fact. I'm not making that up. Before that, a lot of what you call white Americans now who have been here for generations, they knew they were Scottish, German, whatever the fuck they were. But then once the newer, you know, immigrants started coming closer towards the end of the 19th century, they was like, now hold on. We don't have soot on our face. We're white. I'm not playing. Like, that's what happened.
Yeah.
It's
for
like,
sure.
People be amazed, like, you know, it's so weird the way human beings are, and like the things we ignore that are going on right now. Like the shit that we get distracted by is fucking retarded, bro. It's like, you know, you kind of feel sad after a while because it's like, damn, my kid's gonna grow up and like everybody's gonna be talking about gender and this goofy shit that doesn't mean anything. And there's gonna be a day
I feel like that
crashes.
Well, yeah, and I feel like that stuff's a trend right now. I feel like to a degree, like people are still gonna be. There's gonna be a level of PC and like expectations and stuff like that, and things you should and shouldn't say. But I think like the extreme level of it and the whole gender thing, I feel like that stuff's gonna be like. This is what I always like to think to myself. I'm like, I wonder how many people today, right? Because I know there are real people that actually like are trans and stuff, and if that's really you, then hey, more power to you. I don't give a shit. But how many people, right? Because it's like so the thing to be right now. How many people that say they're trans, like the guy that says they identify as a girl or vice versa, How many people are going to untrans themselves in the next 5 years,
It's gonna
et
be
cetera,
a lot.
when it wasn't, when it's not cool anymore, when it's not Bruce Jenner's not the latest and greatest, et cetera, you know?
It's going to be countless because that's why I think a lot of people, once again, purpose comes into play. I feel like a lot of people are doing this shit because they don't have a purpose.
Yeah,
And
right.
they make that their purpose.
They jump on a bandwagon,
Yeah,
et
it's their
cetera.
purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know some people are going to be like, oh, how dare you say that? Are you saying that I was just doing this to be popular? Yes, I am. I'm saying that.
Well, if that's not who you are anymore, yeah.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like if you are offended by me saying that I think that certain people are just doing this shit because they have other mental things that they need to address, mostly like purpose, meaning. If you're mad about that, you're one of them. What the fuck you mean? If you were really
if that's
mad,
your only
you
thing,
wouldn't care. Yeah, you wouldn't give
If
a
that's
fuck.
the only thing you have to say is that identity, you know what I mean?
It's weird to me because it's like I want to feel as bad for them as they want me to, but I can't because at a certain point it's just like you're in hyperdrive when it comes to your rights. Shut the fuck
Shut
up.
the fuck up. Yeah,
It's like I get that there's some homophobic people out there who purposely have sex with y'all, know who you are, and then kill you because somebody found out about it. I am not denying that shit. What I'm saying is I'm not one of them. Can we stop with this whole what do you want? A sympathy fuck? What are we talking about right now? It's like, and I've seen some of them. They'll be like, oh, nobody wants to fuck you. It's like, dude, that's not. You're complaining about people not looking at you as what you want them to look at you as. When we know reality, and we're making this conversation is silly. If somebody doesn't want to be with you sexually or be with you romantically because of that reason, and they're not violent, you can't call them violent or transphobic and shit because you're mixing the words up, and now it doesn't mean anything. Now I don't give a fuck. After that Chappelle shit, I was like, oh, I definitely don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Not because he said it, because of the reaction.
No, yeah, how they
because you
lashed out
can't
and
even
all that
have
shit.
an opinion and be like, hey, Connie had a point with that shit because the way no, he was trying to erase us. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna take it to that extreme, fuck off. I'm gonna just do whatever. Like, fuck off.
It's hard to believe. Yeah, it's hard to believe that there's any like reasonable or sensible people. Well, obviously it's not. You know what I mean? Because they're missing the whole point. You know what I mean? Like anytime there's like backlash on him for that, and anybody else, who faces that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's fucking weird, dude. Fucking world. The world right now, man.
Yeah, that's the psychosis people are in, that you have to be with the majority. And like the weirdest thing is like I remember a certain era in around 2011, 2012 where we all knew Obama was spying on us again. Like we already knew about the Edward Snowden shit. We knew that Obama was trying to hide it. Like that's all facts. That's why I think Obama's a piece of shit because that's some white man shit, bro. No offense, cultural.
That's
once
all
again.
good, dude.
That's some white man shit. That's some evil white man shit. What you did. Don't lie to the American public that, and then sit up there and once you get caught. Because we got all this evidence,
And he's just
like,
the face, right? He's just the face.
Well,
Because it was going on forever. It was going on way before.
I'm
him.
not saying that he was in the beginnings of it.
Not to say
I'm
that
saying that he
that
went
absolves
along
him.
with it. Yeah, he just went along with it,
Yeah.
which is kind of worse to me because you're the first black dude, and like that's why I hate calling him the first black president. Trump's the first black president. Trump is the one that got rid of those mandatory minimums. You were in office for 8 years, Obama. You did none of that. Trump, his first 4 years in office before he left, he got rid of mandatory minimums from nonviolent drug offenses. That's a fucking fact. Look that up. People always act like that didn't happen. I'm like, bro, that's why I laugh when they say Trump is right. I laugh because I can't help but laugh because I'm like, even if he is, he's the worst one ever.
Yeah.
He's the worst one ever. He is in power, and because of his ego, whether or not he did it because he wanted votes from black people, which by the way wouldn't have helped him either way, he had the white vote. What the fuck he give a fuck about us for? He didn't give a shit. He had nothing to worry about. He had 60% of the vote already just from white people. So he's over there letting black people go who did not. He let Kodak Black out of jail. Nigga, I wouldn't do that. No offense, Kodak. I love your music. I wouldn't let Kodak Black out of jail. I think his name is Bill Capri. I would not let that nigga out of jail. I'm like, how long?
He did a lot of people, dude. He hooked a lot of people up.
How long he's been doing it? 9 months. Let him spend the rest of that shit in there.
He hooked a lot of people up with that. Dude, I don't care who you are or what your political beliefs, if any, are, but dude, watching Trump in the Republican primaries 2015 up to when he got elected, dude, that shit was gold, bro. Because that was like,
fucking hilarious.
yeah, he's a fucking, he's a fucking dickhead, but like, still, dude, he broke the fucking normal composure of like the bullshit composure of politicians where it's like, we need to,
he
bail out
destroyed
small
them.
businesses and we need to do this. And
He did what all of us wanted to
give
do.
great schools
He
to our
teased
kids.
them. He teased them.
Yeah. And he was like,
teased
fuck
them.
you. My favorite moment, because even when I get bored, I've watched it like 5, 6, 7 times. I'll go and watch the compilations, or I'll go and
Cruz
watch one of the primary debates.
The Ted Cruz one was the best.
Ted Cruz is good, but I'll tell you, dude, my favorite, more of a fan of the early era of him roasting fucking Jeb Bush. Because he,
I forgot about
because
that
he was
shit.
the pick, because he was the pick, he was the golden child. Because he was the golden child. He was who the party wanted, right?
He made him not a candidate.
Dude,
within
my favorite
a
part.
month.
Dude, my favorite part of that is when he goes, he starts gaining popularity. Trump starts getting more to the center when they have all the candidates at the podiums. And then the fucking finally Jed, you could tell all his advisors were like, you got to stand up to him. You can't let him fuck you up there. So then he's tried to go like, well, you try. And then Trump's like, energy, finally not boring for once. I love it. I love the energy. He's like, you know what? I remember when we started, I was over here. Now I'm in the center. You're over there. One more episode, you're going to be off the fucking stage, bro.
Trump is like, look. I get where people are coming from. He's an effigy for you.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
represents all the racist white people.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. The guy you voted for does. That's
Right.
who represents
Right.
that guy. And I talk shit about Joe Biden. I didn't like him before. I didn't like him when Obama picked him.
He's a whatever.
Because I was one of those extremist black people back in that age, and I was just like, why the fuck you pick that motherfucker? Because as soon as I looked him up, I remember seeing that he was the architecture of that crime bill, and I was like, fuck this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
He's a career politician.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a chameleon.
And you know what makes him
He'll
worse?
go along with whatever.
Even if he's not racist, the what makes it worse is like, so he just does shit just to get along for personal gain. That's actually worse. I'd rather you just hate niggas. I would rather you, whenever he says like the New York Knickerbockers really mean the other one, I would rather him do that.
Yeah,
I don't know if Knickerbockers means that.
Yeah.
But you know what? An ER and an
No, I get
N
what
and
you're
an I
saying.
and a G is there. There's a lot of fucking room for,
Right.
error. I
Right.
don't know.
No, it's true, man.
Dangerous word for white people to say. That's all I know.
Yeah,
That Nicaragua.
I know that's been your thing, bro. That's a bit.
I'm all about
That's like a
dangerous words
bit.
for white people.
You've
It's
been-
not really a bit. It's more me warning white people. I'm thinking of.
But you've been saying that for a while. You've been on that thing for a little
Fuck
bit.
yeah, because vinegar. Like think about it, vinegar. Like I've literally witnessed one of my friends, white guy, of course, said vinegar one time. But at the beginning he had like a hiccup or whatever. So all you heard was nigga. And it's just like bro. Let everybody know that was an EG. Let everybody know it was an EG.
Yeah.
But fuck your ass up, bro. I can't be standing next to you after you say some shit like that, bro.
I can't be associated.
Phonetically, you gotta.
Of all the
clean that shit
words,
up.
of all the words you're gonna say when you hiccup, bro,
Yeah,
it
it's
can't
like-
be vinegar, dude.
Bro, say wine, bitch. Say wine. Like I'd rather
Yeah,
you say wine.
whatever, yeah,
Say bad wine. It's bad wine. Say that because that's vinegar still. That's vinegar.
So hey, man, what do you? We're over an hour.
Oh,
what do
yeah,
you? What
shit.
do you? No, that's cool, man. You got any shows coming up? You got anything?
Not right now. I'm just doing. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Everything kind of slowed down for me. I was just like, I got the kid schedule was just kind of wonky. I haven't
It's
been able
tough.
to really do the grind. What they call the grind.
Yeah,
Like,
the mics and all that
It's like shit. I want to do that shit, but dude, I have to make a little bit of money real quick. It's like life is coming at everybody. It's just like, bro, I don't want to talk down about anybody about their life choices, but I don't want to be 38 living on somebody's couch.
Sure.
I don't want to be
Absolutely.
38 living with like 4 fucking single dudes, and we're just.
That's a
I don't
real
want to
thing.
do that shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm doing what I want to do right now as far as my personal life, and I'm trying to figure out a way to express myself. And I guess I'm trying to do this little YouTube show, but right now I'm just kind of trying to figure it out. Like
Do you have
month-
it started yet or no?
I released one video and then I got kind of in trouble on the internet because I said I went too far. About
Where can people follow you
right now, just Facebook. Right
if they
now,
want to hear more rants?
If they want to hear more rants, follow me on Facebook because I'm about to start posting those videos that I've already recorded for YouTube.
What is it? Just at Jared Collins?
Yeah, just follow Jared Collins. I would say follow Negro and Revolt, but they banned my name on YouTube and Twitter.
Okay.
Apparently, you can't call yourself a Negro if you're black, but yeah, trying to figure out another marketing thing. That's kind of another reason why I can't just tell you what. Like I can't because like the videos are just you can't find that shit. So I'm redoing that shit. I guess just follow me on Facebook, Jared Collins. Follow me on there. I have a fan page on there. Follow that. I'll be posting videos on there soon, just rants and raves.
And that's where, in the future, when it does start happening again, that's where people can see where you're going to be performing.
Yeah,
and all that
yeah,
shit.
you could see it on there. If I'm gonna do it, I'm just trying to like make it make sense to me financially. I can't do this shit for the love anymore. I got to do it because
Yeah, you got to start. Well, and you got to start. You're doing what you're doing. You're building your own following and all that shit. You can't wait around for people to make things happen for you, man. You got to make it happen.
Pretty much. I want to monetize my rants. Like I
You
know
should, dude.
The
Your
rant
rants
and
are
raving
interesting.
is hilarious.
Dude. You're gonna catch ears with this, dude. Believe me. Because
Hopefully.
yeah, no, absolutely, man. So everybody check Jared out. Thanks so much for everybody listening to Crux. Yeah, keep helping me build Crux Nation. And otherwise, we're gonna be back next week. Crux. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah. Go
Fuck
for it.
Joe Byron. Fuck Joe Byron. This is gonna go viral. Swear to God. Like, white people love it when black people hate Joe Biden. They
I know,
fucking
right?
love
They do,
it.
they do.
You know how
They
many
love
drinks I've gotten? I don't
They
even
do.
mean that shit at this point. At this point, like every time I say it though, some country dude buys me a shot.
Hell
of beer.
yeah, boy.
Yeah, see? And they say boy too. That's what they do. Black people, listen to me. Say fuck Joe Biden for free drinks. Bye.
Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah. Let me hear you say Crux, yeah. Crux, yeah.
Crux Yeah Podcast.
Crux proper.